Hello and welcome to another Puppets Epic Comic Review. And this is a special one, and for the first one, for November. Literally the beginning of November.
And that's right. You read the title of what we're reading and reviewing for this episode, and in celebration of this film's anniversary, the comic book adaptation of Monsters, Inc.
Now, Monsters Incorporated. It's actually one of our all-time favorite Pixar films, and no doubt about it, our boss Eli, this is his favorite Pixar animated film for sure. And it was the first movie he ever saw when he was 9 months old, you know? Yeah, I had to mention that. So for in celebration of Monsters Inc.'s 20th anniversary, we thought of reviewing, of course, a comic book of Monsters Incorporated.
And of course, we got the comic itself. It's a hardcover. See, here it is right here.
And before we get started, we just wanted to quickly get this out of the way that with the Monsters, Inc. Comic book adaptation, this not only has, the comic book adaptation of Monsters, Inc., but this also has the comic book adaptation of Monsters University to it as well.
Yeah, but for this, of course, we're just reading and reviewing the comic book adaptation of Monsters, Inc., but as for the comic book adaptation of Monsters University, that will be for a later time.
Yes, this is all about Monsters, Inc., and of course, celebrating its 20th anniversary.
So, let's not waste any time. Let's dive right into the comic book adaptation of Monsters Incorporated, shall we?
If I were a rich man with $1 million or $2 million.
The cover for the Monsters, Inc. comic, well, is basically the same as the hardcover we showed you.
Yep, containing, both this and the comic book adaptation of Monsters University.
Okay, so, we open in a boy's bedroom, where it says, late at night, when the lights go out. The door creaking. What comes into the bedroom? And there's Monster Bile, about, preparing to roar. The boy screams. It terrifies Monster Bile. He slips and falls on jumping jacks, and, and of course, it's it's a simulation, and, a voice saying, simulation terminated. And then we see Miss Flint and the trainees. Miss Flint says, Mr. Bile, you left the door wide open, and that is the worst mistake any employee can make because... Yeah, I had to do that, just like how she did it in the movie.
Yeah, and again, because some changes to the dialogue in this comic, but... again, it's a comic book adaptation and with a few, changes here and there, so who can argue?
We then see Mr. Waternoose, where he says, it could let in a child. And the monster trainees gasp, and Miss Flint says, oh, Mr. Waternoose. And you know what, Butler, why don't you take on the part of Mr. Waternoose?
Yeah, I've got the perfect voice for doing Mr. Waternoose. Okay, then he says, there is nothing more toxic than a human child. Hey, he left out, or deadly, because it goes like this.
There's nothing more toxic or deadly than a human child.
Anyways, so Waternoose then goes on saying, without screams, we have no power. I need scares who are confident, tough, intimidating, like James P. Sullivan. Again, it was, if you noticed, it was missing a couple of lines. Again, as we just said, as we've been saying, it's a comic book adaptation, and with a few changes here and there. Let's just keep going.
Yeah, because we gotta move on, so, so we then see Sulley, sleeping in his bed. Mike says, get up, Sulley! Workout time! And then it says, the next morning, at the boys' apartment, Mike coaches Sulley's exercise routine. Let's hit it. Oh yeah, Sulley says this.
Yeah. I should be Sulley as well.
Yes, you should.
Yeah,
no, I think Mike says it.
Yeah, I believe so. Well, anyways, it's still your turn. Jack.
Yeah, okay. Work it. You're number one because you get the job done. Hey, those are the lines taken from the original introduction. That's interesting. Ready, bunk beds. Feel the burn.
And Sulley's gurring.
Scary feet. I don't know, but it's been said I love scaring kids in bed. Fight that plaque. Scary monsters don't have plaque. That is a pretty funny line, and it's in this comic.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
118, 119, 120. I don't believe it.
I'm not even breaking a sweat.
The new commercial's on. And, of course, the commercial that's playing, "The future is bright at Monsters Incorporated." And Mike is saying, I'm in this one. Yep, because he's in the commercial. That's why he's saying it. "We power your car. We warm your home. We light your city. Carefully matching every child to their real ideal monster to produce superior scream refined into clean, dependable energy. We know the challenge. The window of innocence is shrieking. Human kids are harder to scare."
And then Mr. Waternoose says, "MI is prepared for the future with the top scarers, the best refineries, and finance researches of new energy technologies." And then, Mike then says,
"Okay, here I come."
And then Sulley says in the commercial, "Monsters Incorporated. We scare because we care." Okay, he doesn't say that. It's Waternoose who says that, and, Sulley says we're working for a better day, a better tomorrow today. Anyways. And yeah, just like in the movie and in this and in the comic book adaptation, the Monsters, Inc. logo is blocking Mike's face entirely.
And then Mike says, "I can't believe it."
Oh, Mike.
"I was on TV! I'm a natural! The camera loves me!" And then it says, "It's a typical morning in Monstropolis. I'm telling you, you're going to be seeing this face on TV a lot."
Yeah? Like on Monstropolis' Most Wanted?
Hey, they left out that joke where, Mike says, you've been jealous of my looks since the 4th grade. They completely left that out.
Yet again, because some tweaks and changes in the comic book adaptation. Who can argue?
Anyways, and we all know that sequence where, Mike is wanting to drive in his car. And just to speed things up, just like what we see in the movie, like Monsters playing jump rope, and Tony the Italian grocer, and Ted, and the joke of Ted walking his way to work. And then we see, of course, Monsters Incorporated. They have arrived. They interact with Needleman Smitty a little bit. And then we come to Celia. And you know what? I'll read the part of Celia. I know I did that before, so I'll do it again. "Monsters, Inc., please hold. Monsters, Inc., I'll connect you."
Oh, no, you're still Mike.
Oh, yes, that's right. So I'm playing both Mike and Celia in this part. "Oh, schmoopsie poo, happy birthday. Tonight we're going to a little place called, Harryhausen's, but it's impossible to get a reservation there." Hey, why doesn't he say not for Googly Bear? Oh, gosh, let's just keep going. "I'll see you at 5:01. Think romantic thoughts." And then, because they're in they're at their lockers, and we get the introduction of Randall. Why don't you read Randall, Butler?
Oh, yes, gladly. "What do you know? It scares little kids and little monsters."
I wasn't scared. I have allergies.
"Hey, Randall, save it for the scare floor, will ya? I'm in the zone today, Sullivan. I'm going to be doing some serious scaring, putting up some big numbers."
What a creep. One of these days, I'm going to let you teach that guy a lesson. And of course, we come to the sequence with Mike and Roz, and Mike saying, Good morning, Roz, my little garden snail, and who would we be scaring today?" And I'll go ahead and read Roz. I could do a pretty good, decent Roz impression. "Wazowski, you didn't file your paperwork last night."
You most certainly do a pretty good impression, Jack. I'll give you that.
Yeah, but let's keep going. "Don't let it happen again." "Yes, well, I'll try to be less careless. And the famous lines from Roz herself. I'm watching you, Wazowski. Always watching.
Whew, she's nuts. Oh, sorry, that was your part, Jack.
Yes, but that's okay. And this is Celia on the mic saying, all scare floors are now active. Assistants, please report to your stations. And, a montage of of Mike and all the other monsters preparing the cans and the doors. And, of course, we come to Jerry. Excuse me, who's gonna play the part of Jerry right here?
How about I do it? I'll do Jerry.
Okay, you do it.
Okay, then Jerry says, Eastern Seaboard coming online. We got scarers coming out.
And then the monsters arrive, and them being preparing, for the scares, and lines from Sulley and Randall. They say,
Hey, may the best monster win. I plan to.
Burn.
So then Jerry says, We are on in 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
You're the boss, you're the big, hairy boss. Scare. And we see, just to speed things up a little, because the monsters going in and out of the doors, scaring, and even up to when, Waternoose comes in, and dialogue right here.
We may make our quote today, Mr. Waternoose, sir. First time in a month. The kid almost touched me.
She wasn't scared of you? She was only 6?
I could have been dead. I could have died.
Keep it together, man.
And then Jerry says, okay, hey, we got a dead door here. Okay, hold on. Jerry doesn't say that. Claw's assistant, Chuck. Chuck's the one that says it.
Well, yet again, some tweaks and changes to the comic book adaptation.
Yeah. Anyways, we've lost 58 doors this week, sir. Kids these days, they just don't get scared like they used to.
And at one point, Randall is now the top scarer, but then Sulley, is now back up to being top scarer when he comes out and he says,
Slumber party, hee.
Never mind, as Celia says.
Great job. Yeah, this is still your part, Jack.
Yeah, I know. And even Harvey or Harday. How do you pronounce his name?
I don't know, but you take on this part, Jack.
Right. He then says, "That was awesome. You're going to the Hall of Fame for sure."
Well, James, that was an impressive display. Of course, I learned from the best.
If I don't see a new door in 5 seconds, I will personally put you through the shredder.
Ah! Fungus says. And of course, the infamous scene with, 2319. George gets a sock on his back. Duck and cover, people! The CDA show up, and, he gets the sock removed, and he's completely shaved, and Jerry then says, "Take a break, everyone. We gotta shut down and reset the system." An entire scare floor out of commission. What else could go wrong, says Mr. Waternoose.
And the end of the day, the monsters, wrapping things up.
Let's go! All doors must be returned, no exceptions. Another day like this and the scare records in the bag.
Yeah, baby. And what a night of romance I've got ahead of me. Hello, Wazowski. Fun-filled evening planned, and I'm sure you filed your paperwork correctly, for once. Oops, my scare reports. I left them on my desk. If in 5 minutes they'll give my table away. Hey, Googly Bear, want to get going? Oh, do I ever. It's just that
I forgot about some paperwork. Mike was reminding me. Thanks, buddy.
Oh, yeah, well, we're off. And, of course, Sulley helping out Mike with the paperwork, and he sees a door behind him. He opens it. Then Sulley says, "Psst, is anybody scaring in here?" He then closes the door. We see Boo, and yep, the whole sequence where he's trying to get Boo back in the door, and, Randall coming in with scare cans, and in the bathroom, and, Boo's still there. He throws Boo into a bag, and is almost about to send her back into her room, but then Randall comes out, and, has the door be taken away, and because, we think at first that he was going to go in and scare Boo, that he was cheating, trying to boost his numbers, as Mike says. And we come to Harryhausen's, and fun fact, just a quick fun fact, named after famous stop-motion animator Ray Harryhausen. And, because of the Pixar people, they, of course, admire Ray Harryhausen. And still to speed things up, some dialogue, and of course, Sulley ruining the whole evening for Mike and Celia, and coming in with Boo, and causing panic and such to the monsters. The CDA show up, we're back in their apartment, and, they're running away and avoiding Boo, and at one point, Mike's spraying the stuff in his eye, and Boo spots the teddy bear, little Mikey, as Mike calls it, and, Boo cries when Mike takes it away from her, and, Sulley trying to cheer up Boo, doesn't really work, but then Mike tumbles and causes Boo to laugh, which causes the entire apartment to, the power to go out and such, her laugh being powerful, and, you continue on, Butler, right here.
Okay. And, Mike trying to come up with a plan, Sulley getting Boo to his room, she's in Sulley's bed. Blech, we're talking too fast. And then, because then the next day, they're back at Monsters Incorporated, Boo in disguise, they run into Waternoose, and then, because we'll read a little bit right here. Not now. I'm James. Is this one yours? Actually, that's my cousin's sister's daughter, sir. Yeah, it's bring an obscured relative to work day. And then they go back into, the lockers, the men's room, and, yes, we'll read this here. Take it, it's your turn, Jack.
Right. Wait here while I get its door key card.
But she can't stay here, this is the men's room.
And then we just randomly cut to where Mike is at Roz's front desk. What happened to after what Sulley said? Never mind. Let's just keep going. And then Mike says, Roz, Randall was working late last night on the scare floor. I really need the key for the door he was using. You didn't turn in your paperwork last night. This office is closed. And, slams it on Mike's fingers, and we cut back to the men's room, and Randall showing up, and, dialogue between Fungus and Randall.
The child, the one you were after. What are we going to do?
You just get the machine running, I'll take care of the kid. And when I find whoever let it out, they're dead. Go, move now. Yeah, you were reading Randall's part, Butler. Or maybe I should, because it makes a lot of sense for me to do it, because of the voice he has.
Yeah, true. I'll just do, say, Sulley, Waternoose, and Jerry. Well, anyways, they're back on the scare floor, and, that's that sequence trying to get Boo home, and Mike has the wrong door. They run into Randall yet again, and Celia showing up.
Last night was one of the worst nights of my entire life. And then, Randall looks at the newspaper and, sees Boo's picture and Mike being in there. Wazowski. Mother was right. What do you mean? We never heard that in the movie. Celia said, Michael! Man.
Well, anyways, then, Mike running and he stumbles upon Randall. Mike says,
Yikes! Where's the kid? It's here in the factory, isn't it? Yes, it never would have gotten out if you hadn't been cheating last night. when the big hand points up. Okay, seriously, they left out that chunk of dialogue, because Randall pretending and going along with what Mike said. Oh, gosh, give me a break. Well, let's just keep reading. All right, so Randall says, when the big hand points up and the little hand points down, the kid's door will be in my station, but when the big hand points down, I almost lost my place. The door will be gone. You have until then to put the kid back. Get the picture? Oh. Okay, he doesn't really say that. He just acknowledges, just like, mm-hmm. And that sequence where, Sulley thought, Boo went into the garbage chute, and as you all should know, like, this was based on one of the the people at Pixar, one of their all's favorite cartoons, straight from Looney Tunes, with Mark Anthony and the kitten. Yep, that sequence where the kitten being baked and such. Of course, it's obvious, Oh, good old Pixar. But of course, Sulley does find out and see that Boo is all right and was not crushed and turned into a cube. Then they make their way back to the scare floor. Boo's door is right there, and Sulley does not like this, as, Mike mentions Randall, and, yep, it was all a trap. Randall, instead of capturing Boo, captures Mike. Sulley goes to rescue Mike. They find, Sulley and Boo, they find Randall's secret hideout, his evil lair, and the scream extractor, that's as it's called, and, oh, this is cool. I mean, we don't see this in the film, but we see this in the comic. Sulley unplugging the machine and saving Mike's life, and, Fungus being, Mike being swapped with Fungus, and, poor Fungus. I mean, because he's just an innocent guy, but, because I guess he has no choice but to work with Randall, if you get my point.
Yeah. And so they're about to leave Monsters, Inc. when Sulley has an idea, and he goes to Waternoose. We'll read some of the dialogue here. Mr. Waternoose, James, perfect timing. Show these monsters how it's done. Sir, come on, what are you waiting for? Roar! And then he does roar. But they left out that other bit where, but sir, roar! And again, a few tweaks and changes. How many times do we have to say this? He roars, it terrifies Boo. Waternoose then says, gentlemen, I hope you learned a valuable lesson in scaring. Boo? Boo, it's me, Kitty. And Boo trips, and then Waternoose says, the child! Yeah, because he doesn't act that terrified when he sees Boo. And it's obvious, because of what happens in just a couple of minutes. And then Mike says, sir, it's not our fault. Randall was trying to kidnap her. He's got a crazy machine that sucks the scream out of kids. And he was going to test it out on her. Don't be scared. I'm sorry, Boo. And now that we have her, he's trying to kill us. This whole thing is Randall's fault. And then Waternoose says, does anyone else know about this? No, sir. Good. This company can't afford any more bad publicity. Now, before we do anything else, let's take care of the child. I'm sorry you boys got mixed up in this, especially you, James. Sir, that's not her door. I know. It's yours. I just love how, he says it's yours. And, the appearance of Randall, that's just so good. Oh, yeah, I totally agree. And Waternoose pushes them in. The door is, Waternoose closes the door, and, in a matter of seconds, right after he closes it, and when Sulley opens it, it's turned off, and they're stuck in the human world. And a little fight between Mike and Sulley, they tumble down a hill, and of course we get the appearance of the Abominable. Welcome to the Himalayas! Abominable, can you believe that? Why can't they call me the adorable snowman? Snowcone? Oh, don't worry, it's Lemon. Look at that big jerk. Because of him, I'm stuck in this frozen wasteland. Wasteland? I think you mean Wonderland. Wait until you see the local village. A village? Where is it? It's in the bottom of the mountain. At least a 3-day hike. 3 days? Urgh. He doesn't say that. He says we need to get there now. Never mind. I was about to say, but just, you get the drill. And then the Abominable says, you want to go to the village? We need to rescue Boo. Nothing else matters.
Nothing else matters? What about me? I'm your best friend.
Boo's in trouble. There might be a way to save her. If we can just get down to the village.
If you want to go, you're on your own. Yeah, yet again, that leaves out a chunk of good dialogue there. Just, who can argue still? And we see Sulley making, sliding down hills, and he crashes, but then he does make his way to the village. He goes to rescue Boo, destroys the machine, and, Mike shows up and, feeling sorry, because he was mad, that's all, and thinks he's throwing the snowball at Sulley, but instead throws it at Randall. And, Waternoose says, "Get up! There can't be any witnesses." "Don't worry, there won't be."
And then we see Celia again. Yeah, we'll read some of this. We'll read this dialogue here. "I'm glad you came back, Mike."
"Hey, somebody has to take care of you, you big hairball." Suddenly, whoa, oof. Schmoopsy Poo, I really can't talk.
"Come on."
"Michael, if you don't tell me what's going on right now, we are through." "Okay, here's the truth. You know the kid that they're looking for? Sulley let her in. We tried to send her back, but Waternoose has a secret plot, and now Randall's right behind us, and he's trying to kill us. You expect me to believe that pack of lies, Mike Wazowski?" "Mike Wazowski," as Boo says. Celia gasps, and then Randall and Fungus on their tail. "There they are." Celia on the intercom says, "Attention employees, Randall Boggs has just broken the all-time scare record." "Way to go, Randall. Nice job. All right, get out of my way. Go get him, Googly Bear." And they activate Boo's door, but then, Sulley sets off something because of an emergency button, that's big and red, and all the doors activate. They go, and we of course come to the door vault, and just to speed things up, them going through doors, and at one point Randall has Boo captive, and Sulley and Mike trying to rescue her, and up to when Sulley has Randall surrounded, at this door, and Randall pushing Sulley out of the door, Sulley holding on, Boo finally no longer scared and attacking Randall, and Sulley saying, "She's not scared of you anymore, Randall. You're out of a job." And because Randall being thrown in that one door, and of this trailer park, and the dialogue here, "Mama, another gator got in the house. Go get that shovel. Whoops, ow. And hold on a second, that's not the Pizza Planet truck. What the heck?"
Yeah, how could they not add the Pizza Planet truck? Are you serious?
Oh, brother. Well, anyways, so they throw the door, and it breaks, and, they go to Boo's door, the power, and it's not active. They go back to the scare floor, and Waternoose being there. Mike has Boo's costume, to trick Waternoose and the CDA, while, Boo is with Sulley, but Waternoose does spot them.
"What the? He has the child!" And, he's chasing Sulley and Boo, leading up to when they're, at first you think it's Boo's room, but no, it's the simulation room, and Waternoose mistaking the simulation kid for Boo. "I'll kidnap 1,000 children before I let this company die, and I'll silence anyone who gets in my way." And Waternoose being exposed, he's arrested, and, Waternoose saying, "I hope you're happy, Sullivan. You've destroyed this company. Where will everyone get their screams now?" And they also left another chunk of dialogue there. Just, never mind.
And we see Roz is actually part of the CDA as number 1. 2.5 years of undercover work were almost wasted when you intercepted that child, Mr. Sullivan. Of course, without your help, I never would have known that this went all the way up to Waternoose. Now, about the girl.
I just want to send her home.
Very good. Someone bring me a door shredder.
You mean I can't see her again?
That's the way it has to be. I'll give you 5 minutes. And I have to ask, wasn't that 5 minutes of how long Boo and Sulley said their goodbyes? I don't really know, if you get my point.
I would assume. I don't know.
Anyways, so then, Sulley and Boo saying their goodbyes, and, we'll read the dialogue here.
Nothing's coming out of the closet to scare you anymore, right?
Mm-hmm. Kitty!
Goodbye, Boo. Kitty has to leave.
And, after he closes the door, Boo goes over and opens the door, and, it's been turned off, her closet just, being regular, etc., the door being shredded. None of this ever happened, gentlemen, and I don't want to see any paperwork on this. And Mike handing one piece from the door to Sulley, and we'll read Needleman and Smitty, because, who wants to... I'll be Needleman, you be Smitty, Butler.
Yeah, okay, but who's talking?
I don't know, who cares? Let's just read them.
Okay. They're taking Mr. Waternoose away. The factory will shut down.
There'll be even less scream to go around. Eee. Well, could be either one of them, but who cares? We did Needleman Smitty. Let's just keep going. Cheer up, pal. We got her home. All right, we're both out of a job, but we had some laughs along the way. Suddenly, Sullivan has a brilliant idea, because, when it comes to him, because after Mike mentioning laughs, and the epilogue, because, we see Mike in a kid's bedroom, performing a joke, and wait a second, what the heck? He doesn't swallow the microphone and burps, and he just drops the microphone and it hits his head, thump, and it makes the kid laugh. Who cares? What's wrong with a burp joke in a comic? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's kind of strange. Well, anyways, then Sulley says, "Great job, Mikey. You filled your quota on the first kid of the day. Laughter is 10 times more powerful than scream."
Not bad, huh? Hey, did you bring the magazine? They just delivered a whole box. He made the cover. We made the cover, right? I'm on the cover of a magazine. That's what they said. Oh, googly bear.
Yep, and just like in the movie too, Mike being blocked by, where you scan
you get the idea. Anyways, and now we come to the final page, where it says, "Things have never been better at Monsters, Inc. But sometimes missing, but something's missing for Sullivan. Hey, Sulley, I want to show you something."
Mike, is that her?
Sorry it took so long, pal. There was a lot of wood to go through. It only works if every piece is in place.
And the one piece of her door that Sulley had kept, he puts it in, and it activates. He opens it. And he says, "Boo,"
and then we hear a voice saying, "Kitty,"
and then it says "the end," and that's the final page for the comic book adaptation of Monsters, Inc.
And with all that being said, this comic is okay, but just hear us out. Go. And with all that being said, this comic is okay, but just hear us out. Even though this is done by both Dark Horse Comics and Disney Comics, it makes me feel like it's from one of those, kiddie Disney books. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do get your point, Jack. I do. But I will say, The artwork and design for this comic book adaptation of Monsters Inc. is actually not bad and pretty good. And it is nice that there is a comic book adaptation of Monsters Inc. because Monsters Inc. is no stranger to comics, especially because, as we said before, those Laugh Factory comic issues, the 4 comic issues, those were great, and there was one with Mike and Celia. Just, yeah, you get the idea. It was fine, aside from a few tweaks and changes to the dialogue and some scenes, It's an okay comic.
And with all that being said, thank you very much for watching, and for one last time, happy 20th anniversary to Monsters, Inc. Come back next time / later this month, where we will be reading and reviewing a comic leading up to a movie's release. You'll just have to wait and see what it is, because, can you guess? I Ain't Afraid of No Ghost? Yeah, I think I pretty much gave it away. See you next time.
My turn, and for one last time, thank you very much for watching this special Puppets Epic comic review. Happy 20th anniversary to Monsters, Inc. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye!